my crazy hat stuff. Alright, I lost you guys there for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and try to tie on one last fly before it gets too dark. But I just snagged this like pound-and-a-half crappie. Oh my goodness. All day for this little... Guys, I'm killing it. It's just crazy. So as you guys can see, I was just pulling in the sunfish hand over fist, man. I was just bringing those things in, which was awesome. It's always fun. Actually, this is during the kind of early spring pre-spawn kind of time frame. So I had off video before I started filming, pulled in a little male right off of bed. It was pretty awesome. Just drug my little jig right into his bed, stopped there, you know, shook the rod tip, or you know, kind of just pulled the line, just little jerks, just jerking the line, just kind of little jerks, and wow, he just nailed it. It was an awesome little guy, and it was kind of a cool experience to just catch him guarding the bed like that. So anyway, from there I moved down to this hole and just kind of continued fishing for a little while. There is some Guadalupe bass in this particular hole that I was spotting and that I know, you know, are here. So I was trying to pull in one of those guys. Kept on the sunfish in this particular spot, but that was all right. Kept using the jig to start out with for the day. Had finally figured out that the right color was kind of this yellow color, and they were just hammering it all day long. So anyway, guys, we'll just continue on. So after pulling several little sunfish out of that hole, I went ahead and decided to move on down the creek a little bit. This isn't my usual big hole that I fish, but I had just kind of been sight fishing a little bit and noticed some bass and plenty of sunfish in this hole, so figured I'd stop and give it a try. I missed a couple smaller sunfish here. Really using the jig, sometimes it's a little hard to really get hooked up well. They either don't take it all the way, or they're just biting a claw or something like that. You know, it's a little crawfish jig. So sometimes it is hard to actually get them hooked, depending on how they bite it. This little guy took it and then, oops, fell off there, and get him back in the water. And so anyway, just continued fishing this little hole, see if I could pull in a bass. Saw a couple of good sized ones here, so I didn't want to quite give up too quick. So I had a nice little 2-pound bass go nose down on my fly, and I just got a little too excited. As soon as he grabbed it, I set the hook just a little too soon, and it popped out straight into this tree, which was obviously a little frustrating. Lost my fly, and that was pretty much the end of that fish and the end of that fly. And that's how it goes sometimes with fly fishing, especially when you got a bunch of brush around you. Lost that fly, but tied on another and continued on down the way. And guys, the reason you're not seeing some better GoPro footage of some of these catches and releases and things is I actually wasn't going to film this afternoon. I was just going to just get out there and just kind of enjoy some fishing on my own, but as soon as I started getting hit, I just couldn't resist. Had to get out the camera and set it up, you know, and start filming. But that is the reason I didn't have the chesty cam or the head cam on, to where you guys could see the catches a little closer up. You will see a few that I will bring the camera to, but as far as most of the sunfish go, you're going to see them from this angle and this view. But just an awesome afternoon. Love getting out there and just catching some fish. So finally, no matter the size of the bass, when you do get one on camera, it feels so good. And especially when you're just pulling bass out of a small creek like this, it just makes you feel so good. So as you guys can see, I was just kind of stripping quick, pause, stripping quick, pause. Saw him go nose down on it. He nailed it. I patiently set the hook, didn't just jerk it right away, just let him take it, set the hook, and pulled him in. Nice little largemouth bass there. So just continued fishing on from there. Just gotta love sticks when you fly fishing. They get caught up in your line. So I tried this hole out just a little bit longer, tried a few different spots in the hole. Didn't really come up with anything else, so went ahead and decided to go ahead and pack it up from here, head on down to the bigger, deeper hole that I usually fish in, and give that a go for a little while. Turns out that it really didn't do too much for me. I actually didn't get any bites or really even see any fish down there, so I actually ended up coming back to this spot and giving it another try. Well, this little bass I've caught him on the crawfish, but look how little that guy is. It's crazy. All right, go ahead and get him back in there. So after this little bass, I went ahead and decided to move upstream back to the first original hole and see if I couldn't get one of those Guadalupe bass out of there. I wanted to try something new also, so I went ahead and put on a little nymph, I don't know, probably like a number 16 in size, and decided to try to do a little high stick in, see if I couldn't just drift that nymph in and give me that Guadalupe bass or more sunfish. Looks like I'm talking to myself. Sorry. I did a little bit, trying to catch Guadalupe bass here. This view. I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. So it seemed like the Guadalupe bass were going after some smaller bugs or whatever, different things in the water. So I was really trying to work this nymph. Seemed like it would catch their attention for a whole second, but they just would not strike on it. Pulled in all the little sunnies, but could not get the Guadalupe bass to strike no matter how hard I fished it. So I went ahead and decided to change it up again, as the nymph was just not cutting it for the little bass in there. So I went ahead and decided to go ahead and change up to a Pat's Rubber Legs. Not the little Guadalupe bass I'm going for, but still beautiful. If I can get a good shot of him. Alright, keep going for the Guadalupe. So after working the Pat's Rubber Legs for a little while, I went ahead and switched on back to my jig to see if I could go ahead and get the attention of the bass there, and decided to work it for a little while as well. Instantly caught what I like to call a little rock bass. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Almost looks like a combo between a big sunfish and a largemouth bass, but I call it a rock bass. Not really sure what to determine on that, but it's some sort of small bass. Crazy hat stuff. All right, I lost you guys there for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and try to tie on one last fly before it gets too dark. Let's try it. It's I call it Gordon's Hollywood. A guy that is named Gordon makes it, and I will see if I can't locate it real quick. Crazy bag here. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. See, there's some. Let's see. Will I get it? I don't know if it's gonna. Oh, there you go. There's like a pink one in there. There's an orange one, green one. We're gonna try that. Alright, so this is Gordon's Hollywood. I don't focus. So we're gonna try that guy right there. So Gordon's Hollywood brought in one little sunfish for me, but other than that, I fished it for a while and just couldn't produce anything else. So it was time to go ahead, wrap it up, call it a day, and go ahead and head on back to the Jeep. So just want to say thanks, guys, and for watching, and want to say God bless and go fly fishing. We'll see you on the next one.